I wanted to put my drumming like up here to a certain level. I wanted to get myself out there a little bit more. I was thinking of ways I could do this. What if I did my own drumming event? How about if I could do something completely different and put myself on the main stage with the big boys? And that's what I did, and this is kind of a video of being a bit relentless really, and pursuing and pushing yourself beyond what you could think you're capable of doing. So first part really is I knew that I had like a date. When did we do it? We did it in like May or something like that. I knew I had like 6 months to prepare, organise a drumming event, get myself to a level within my playing that was beyond I ever thought was capable. Oh yeah, and then try and organise selling 300 seats in a small town in Tunbridge Wells in Kent, and market the whole thing, and organise, how many drummers did we have? 3 of the best well-known names in the country. So close friend of mine, Darren Mooney of Primal Scream, Steve White, legendary UK drummer, played for the likes of Paul Weller, and then Colin Walway, very, very well-known and respected drum teacher within in the drumming industry, founded Drum Sense, all sorts of stuff. It was a case of, kind of makes me smile now. I'm like, wow, that was a pretty ballsy move to do this. With just sheer, like, I'm gonna make this work, and that's exactly what I did. From marketing my own photography and drum teaching business, around this time and before that, I sort of knew, I'm like, how am I going to get this event up and running? I was like social media, so Twitter. I remember I reached out to like comedians like Al Murray. I remember he was into drumming. Got Primal Scream to repost it. Little Barry, obviously Colin, and Steve White to his followers. And really using that audience to like, promote it really. So there was the online digital side of things. Facebook, did a fair bit on that too. Also just standing outside like train stations when people were getting off the trains with flyers, like I printed off, I had to get like 1,000 flyers. And after, work and the rush hour commute, I'd stand there outside stations, like giving out flyers. I went round every house pretty much, within, okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but a lot of homes within Kent, and handed, put through people's doors, like, the printout of the drum clinic, with all the information on, local radio. We tried to get it on the local news. It's a shame that we didn't, political, won't go there. And I just figured out any way, means, shape or form to make this drumming event happen. And I marketed it super hard. And then, suddenly there's like 2 weeks time, ticket sales were showing at around about 150. I was like, we need 300. Like, we need 300 tickets. And then, it just really started to ramp up closer to the event. And then on the day there were walk-ins as well. In the end, sold out the whole thing. It was an amazing night, absolutely terrified. Had an audio issue as well. I couldn't actually hear what was coming out of my monitor. So I had my sound desk, everything sorted, and they made some mistake where they were like, oh yeah, sorry, you're only going to get floor monitors. So all the click tracks and everything I'd set up in Pro Tools to play along to these songs, with the click track and all the backing stuff. Now I had none of that. I just had an empty song with no click track that I could barely hear. I think the only one I had that I could play along to was Moby, Porcelain. I think that was it. Everything else had nothing. Oh man, just sweating, just so nervous, trying to, am I ahead or do I feel like I'm in the pocket? Am I behind? Like, I'd hit the crash cymbals and it was just like, I was playing without earplugs, which I wasn't used to, just so I could hear this thing. And they always say it'll be all right on the night. I mean, luckily this one was. But there was a lot of pressure on myself for that. You know, I was suddenly on the same stage as Darren, Steve White, Colin. There's 300 people there. I'm just this guy who, you know, played for a particular artist at some point and not exactly a well-known name. But it, you know, it just goes to show through being relentless, being, I wouldn't even know what other words really to add actually other than those. And just, it goes to show if you really put your mind to something like that, it's amazing what you can do. I just didn't give up at any point. I was like, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make my drumming at this level. I'm going to promote it in this way. And it was a massive success. And, you know, I often talk with Darren that, you know, maybe we'll do another one day and, you know, maybe we will. And we had, you know, we were discussing some pretty good names for it as well. Would I want to play at one again? Don't know. Don't know. I think I'd enjoy more organising it and just having a back seat and just watching all the other great drummers play. So yeah, watch this space, we might do it. But yeah, it's just a little video on how an idea, how you can take something if you believe in what you're doing and you really don't let any other distractions get in the way, you can make something of it. And that was a good little example, I think.